When I was 12 years old, my parents died in a car accident. The court asked me to move in with my grandparents, which was kind of hard for me, considering the fact that my grandparents' house, was right where my dad grew up. And it was even harder because they put me in his room. Growing up this way was definitely a struggle. I didn't want to participate in school. My grades suffered. I didn't want to play sports. I didn't want to talk to girls. I didn't want to ride my bike. I didn't want to see anything. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to be in my room, and that was it. I remember nights just staring up at the ceiling and wondering why this had happened to me. Well, one night as I was sleeping, I woke up. And I woke up really quick. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, but my eyes just opened. And something was off. I looked around the room, and the room was lit up, even though it was pitch black outside. I kind of lifted my head up off the pillow, and I looked around, and I noticed that there was a small light coming from the corner of my room. But it was coming from underneath one of the floorboards. So I did what any 12-year-old boy would do, and I got up, and I went to investigate. So I started to put my heel down on all these different floorboards until one of them popped up. And when it popped up, there was this little shoebox dugout hole in the floor with a little light bulb on one end, and it was filled with hay, and sitting in the box was a leather-bound book. Now, I'd never seen the book before. I had no clue what it was. But I picked it up, and it turns out that was my father's high school journal. For the next few weeks, I ripped through the pages. I just kept reading and reading and reading. I learned all about his life. I learned about his ups and his downs. I learned about all his girlfriends. They were all named Kathy, by the way. I learned all about sports. He loved football. I learned all about how he didn't like science, but he liked math. I learned about all the advice that he would give. I learned about it all. I started to feel like he was there. I would be going through something at school, and I would look at the next page, and I would see what he would do. Until one day, I flipped through the pages, and it was over. There was nothing left. For whatever reason, he had stopped writing. I remember ripping through the rest of the pages, just looking at him, and there was nothing left. There was nothing left. Well, it was like this for about 6 months. Until one night, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning again. I leaned back in my head, my eyes just opened right up. Same thing. I looked to the corner, and there was the light on again. I got up, and I walked over, put my heel in the same spot, the floorboard kicked up, and there was the empty box. With the hay, the little light bulb, it was all empty. But this time I noticed something a little different. I started to kind of peel back some of the hay. And there was another book. It was the same style of journal that his other one. I was so excited. I picked up the book, I opened it up, and there was nothing. Not a word. It was an empty journal. Well, empty except for on the front cover. There was one Bible verse, actually. At least I learned in Sunday school, right after Christ left he was about to leave his disciples, I guess. He said, "And lo, I will be with you always, even unto the end of the world." Now, I don't know who put that book there. I don't know if it was my grandma or if it was my dad. but in a small way. I felt like whoever put the book there was telling me that I didn't have to be alone anymore, because I was never alone. That he would always be with me. That even though my parents passed away, that didn't mean that they were gone. And as far as my life was concerned, how I could live a good life was just simply doing the things that he did. So what will I do with the rest of my life? I don't know. I've got a lot of pages to write.